You know, has somebody ever done something very awful to you? All right. And you were really, 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 really hurt. All right. And you were expecting nothing but a sincere, straightforward, and official apology from this person, only for this person to come back to you ridiculously gossiping about somebody else. This person must be nobody else than a narcissist. Greetings to you and welcome to today's special podcast. I hope you are doing well. You know, in a narcissistic person's mind, all right, it's like you don't really deserve any apology. And even in his mind or her mind, okay, in the narcissistic person's mind, he did nothing wrong, right? It doesn't matter what pain he or she caused you. He did nothing wrong and you deserve no apology. Do you know why? Simply because in his mind or her mind, rendering you an apology is more or less like, you know, letting go his or her power. You get it? Or letting go his or her breath, mere breath. Let's put it that way. Because the narcissistic person thrives upon, you know, seeing you hurt, causing you pain. It's not actually because, like, sometimes it's not really because they take delight in causing you pain, all right? But they are unfortunately trapped in, a crab in a barrel mentality. They are unfortunately, trapped in a kind of mindset that triggers them to act the way they act. Because in the narcissistic person's mind, it's all about winning and and all about gaining. All right. There's nothing like, you know, you win some, I also win some. All right. They are very, very competitive and they see anybody at all, as a threat. Okay. Anybody within their space or anybody along their way, all right, to achieving a particular goal of theirs is always a threat and a rival. Whether you feel the same or not, that is how they feel, you know. So, and they would do everything possible to get rid of you along the way. I don't literally mean maybe eliminating you unless there is really a need for them to do that. They wouldn't hesitate doing it. But most of the time, they wouldn't just bother, causing you harm, backbiting, all right, sometimes stealing, harming, doing whatever that they can just to make sure that what they stop you from reaching your goal. Meanwhile, you are probably never even competing with them. You were just running at your own pace, all right? But they feel like when they see you win, then it means that they have lost. So they are trapped in this what chronic competitive mindset. And unfortunately, you are bearing the consequences of their actions. And they actually refuse to acknowledge nor to render any kind of or any form of apology to you for what they do. Because in their mind, rendering you rendering you an apology simply means that acknowledging that, dominating you isn't good. Dominating you, uh they're actually aware that, dominating you and all the actions, sometimes they are very much aware that they are causing you some form of pain, all right? But it's all about their ego. These are very egoistic people, all right? So they are very much aware sometimes that what they do, because And as a matter of fact, they're always aware. Most of the things that a narcissistic person would do to you are the things that they themselves fear the most. So most of the time, it's not even because maybe they are unaware, but they are really, really, really much aware of what they are doing to you. But it's like I've explained earlier on, they just thrive upon, dominating other people. And if you are to dominate people, if you are to oppress people, if you are to, suppress and subjugate people, if you have to do whatever that you can do to reach your goals, to the detriment of these people, then logically you are going to cause these people a lot of pain. But they don't really care about that because all that matter is their goals that they have set for themselves. Because these are people that think so highly of themselves, and everything about them is just all about themselves. You see, so they are very, very egocentric, and they have no limits to which they can go to achieve their goals. So whenever a narcissistic person hurts you, rendering an official and sincere apology to you simply means that uh, they are they are going to desist, all right, from doing that thing again. And desisting from doing that thing again is more or less like taking away their breath and their because they feel like they are going to be powerless. How would they dominate you if they don't try to compete with you? If they don't try to, to do something to suppress you so that they would feel like they are winning. You see, so this is unfortunately the kind of mindset that they are trapped in. In some cases, a narcissistic person may try to apologize, okay, in very rare cases, and even when they are trying to apologize, they do it in two ways. All right, it's either they are simply guilt tripping you, all right. For instance, they've done something wrong to you, and you are trying to call them to order. All right, you are like, you know what? I don't just like how you move, or what you just did. I'm sorry, but please don't let that happen again. I deserve like sincere apologies for what you've just done. Okay, and they're like, "Ah, okay, sorry. Okay, with a smirk or whatever, like sorry. You might be smirking. They're telling like sorry, and you like uh you yourself you'll feel it, okay, you feel that this is not a sincere apology, okay. Or sometimes they when they come apologizing to you, it's probably because they don't want to miss a particular favor from you, right? Maybe uh it's not really because they sat down and thought through and realized that, uh this guy or this, yeah, really deserves some apologies, and I'm sincerely sorry for what I did. That is not sometimes the case. Okay. So, like I said, it's either they are going to guilt trip you. When they guilt trip you, like, okay, sorry. I didn't know. Like, sorry. When they do that, they are trying to let you know that, you know what, you are acting in it's like it's more almost like you are kind of delusional. Okay, what you like, you are just exaggerating. That's why they make it seem, like this isn't anything that you are complaining about. Anyway, sorry. So they are guilt tripping you. They want you to feel as though what they really did to you isn't anything relevant. You get it? And secondly, as I was trying to say, sometimes when they are trying to apologize to you, all right, they may act as if they are coming from, I mean, they are rendering you a sincere apology, but most of the time it is when they realize that, uh their interests are at stake, right? So they realize that, you know what, based on what I've done to this guy, if I don't render him an apology, he's most likely not going to give me any second chance. Okay, and you know, so in that case, what would they do? They may try to, or maybe they needed something badly from you. Sometimes they may just, when they realize that, you know what, you've taken an action, you've stood to your grounds, and you've demanded some respect, and you really want to be treated right. When instead of apologizing to you, they sometimes just literally run away from you. All right. When they run away from you, they do this in the hopes that you would forget. All right. So they may come back to you every now and then to say hi. And if they realize that maybe you ignore them or something, now they realize that and they come to a conclusion that, okay, the only way to get to this person or to get back to this person would be maybe rendering a fake apology. In that case, they would say, you know what, I'm really sorry for what I did or whatever. But usually when they say this, the follow up thing would be what? Them requesting something from you. So you clearly understand that they never rendered you a sincere apology, but they just wanted to get back to you so they can get back whatever that they needed from you. You see? So this is the second way they may try to apologize to you. One is to guilt trip you, manipulate you, gaslight, and make it seem as if what you are complaining about is nothing. Okay, sorry. And you can see in their faces that they are not even sorry. You see, by just like a formality that they have to say sorry because you are demanding it on the spot. You see, or like I said, they would only come to act as if they are apologizing when they are in need of what? Something from you, for instance. You see, or as a way to get back into your life. You see, because if they want to get back into your life, then they have to shed some crocodile tears. They may try to as if they are really crying something, right? They may just act, they may just create a scene to make you feel like this particular narcissistic person is really remorseful so that you will accept them back in. And when they get back in, they are going to treat you worse. They never change because, like I said, they are just trapped in this kind of competitive mindset. And there is it. You have to protect yourself. You see, so it's up to you, right? All this that I'm saying about why a narcissistic person, would never would want to apologize to you, or um why, okay, I haven't yet talked about even I emphasize on how they apologize to you or why they don't want to apologize to you, to the point where I was even forgetting of the main topic. All right. So why is it that a narcissistic person, would come back gossiping about somebody else in order to make peace with you? Normally, when you do somebody wrong, and you sincerely know that you are wrong, immediately you render an official apology. Or sometimes you don't know whether you really hurt people, but when people let you know that, you know what, you cross certain lines that you were not supposed to cross, what do you usually do? You really think through it, and if you feel like, yeah, I really did something wrong, then you make sure that you render a sincere and what official apology. So why is it that the narcissistic person, instead of apologizing, would rather prefer coming to gossip about somebody else, coming to belittle somebody else, coming to talk about how much somebody is hurting you, somebody else is hurting you, instead of focusing on what they did to you? All right. They are not going to talk about, the deed that they did to you. They are rather talking about how somebody else somewhere is doing you harm. So by so doing, it's a form of manipulation because when they do that, you start to see them as a good person. So they may come and tell you things like, you know what, uh, that your so-called friend said this and this and this and that about you. All right. When they tell you something like that, the question you have to ask yourself is, okay, uh, how did you position yourself for this person to say what they said? All these that you've narrated to me, there's a difference between maybe somebody started something and I stopped that person. Right? Somebody was trying to gossip about you. Somebody was trying to say something to denigrate you in some way or the other in your absence. And I decided to fight for you. I decided to intervene. That is different. But a narcissistic person would come trying to paint a picture and create a scenario whereby somebody actually said a lot of bad things about you. All right. And he's going to narrate a very long story about all that happened. Now, if you are wise, ask yourself, how did you position yourself, okay, to actually listen to all this trash that you claim this person said about me? If you were not listening to this person with a very friendly face, I don't think this person would have taken his or her time to narrate all these bad things about me, which means that you are part of the problem. You probably even partook in all that you claim this person said or is trying to do to me. You see? So the sole purpose of a narcissistic person coming to gossip about somebody else, you know, in order to make peace with you, is simply because they want to escape rendering any form of apology to you, right? Because to them, rendering you an apology is going to make them less powerful over you, which means they cannot feel like they are on top. They cannot feel like they are dominating you anymore. So they rather prefer using some of these dubious means of of manipulating you to believing that somebody else. Okay, it's almost like, okay, I did you wrong, but somebody else elsewhere has done something incredible to you. So instead of focusing on me, rather focus on that person. That's what that means. And like I said, before they even come back uh, gossiping about you, they usually would keep their distance. All right, they usually would run away from you. That is when you actually demand that they respect you. Usually, when you do nothing to a narcissist, I mean, when a narcissist does something to you, all right, and you try to let it slide, what do? You think, okay, they are going to advise themselves that, okay, uh, this guy is a nice person. At least he has forgiven me. I don't need to repeat it. They are not going to think that way. If they took your arm, they are going to come back, your right arm, they are going to come back for your left arm. They are going to chop off all your limbs to the point of chopping off your head. That's how the narcissistic person operates. So because they don't see kindness as, you know, as I don't know how to put it. They just take your kindness for weakness. It's as simple as that. They don't appreciate your kindness. So any form of kindness that you portray is going to cost you a lot because to them it's a great opportunity to poke you the more so that they can feel powerful, they can feel like they're on top, they can feel like they're dominating. That is how they operate. So usually when you do nothing, they are going to act as though, nothing has happened, they did nothing wrong. And they will come back hard at you. But when you stand up to your ground and demand respect immediately, all right, and an official apology, what happens? Instead of rendering you the apology, they will what? Run away from you and act as if, you know what, you are demanding so much. Or like I was saying, they may guilt trip you by saying, okay, okay, like I'm sorry. Like, okay, sorry. If they don't guilt trip you, then they'll run away in the hopes that you forget. When you don't forget, now that is the time they may resort to strategies like coming back to gossip about you. Okay. And to gossip about you means that they want I mean to to gossip, okay, about somebody else that they claim has done something to you. Or sometimes they may just come and be gossiping about at something else at all that has nothing to do with you self in the first place. Just to make sure that, just in the hope of, manipulating you to either forgetting of what they did to you or just uh, downgrading, you know, what they actually did to you. So you would feel like, there's nothing. And it's also a way to like I said, to make peace with you. So it's a way to make it seem as if, because usually if they should come back to you with something between the two of you, you are going to straightforward, ask for an apology for what they did to you previously, because you wouldn't want to partake in any form of discussion with such a person because of what they've just done to you or they've done to you in the past. But they know that should they start a conversation that involves other people, especially if they are able to create an image that other people are hating you, then you would want to listen. In that case, the narcissistic person is trying to portray him or herself as somebody that is really cares about you, as somebody that is really fighting for you, as somebody that really, wants your good, just as a way for you to allow him or her into your life again. So beware. Anyway, I think I've ranted enough, and it is time for you to also share your comments and your opinions about why a narcissist usually gossips, you know, to make peace with you. Please subscribe and see you in the next video.